I feel like the reason why relationships don't last anymore, just friendships or relationships, one of the things is that we don't understand that you if you are in a relationship with a friend or someone you consider to be more than a friend, you have to change for that person. And that person has to change for you because because what you're doing is you're becoming the same person. That's what's happening, especially between a man and a woman in just a natural, they're in a relationship and then they eventually want to get married. You're turning into the person. It's like you're mixing. You become one person. The Bible already tells us this, that you become one flesh. That means that you become the same person. So that's why, because there is an idea, there's pushback against changing for another person. Just you texting someone when you may have, like, you might be at work, and you gotta do this certain thing, but you're smiling at your phone, you're texting this person that you enjoy talking to, you're changing, because normally you wouldn't be doing that. Normally you would be doing this thing at work, or if you got to go to the store, it might have been 15 minutes and you've been talking to the person or whatever, sending messages back and forth, you're making changes. So when we talk about making real personality changes, the issue is that people feel like, well, you know what, I don't need to change for anybody. I don't ever have to do that, and if you want me to change for you, then I'm going to just find somebody else. That's because we don't understand how a relationship is supposed to work anyway. A relationship is when both people meet in the middle and they become the same person. That's how humans will establish long-lasting relationships with each other, is that they become the same. And it's not to say that your identity has to be just, swept away, whoever you were before you, because here's another thing about it. We're always changing. Always. I'm changing. From the first second I made this video, now that I've said these things, I've made changes. I got older. So change is inevitable. And the problem is, I don't know what the issue is. The issue is that we are suffering from narcissistic relationships and families, and the reason why we feel like we shouldn't change is because we haven't found the right person yet that will meet us and that will show us that, hey, I'm willing to meet you here. B, we're damaged from these, that's really A, because we're a lot of us are damaged from relationships that were bad with parents, and your parents are the ones who show you what a relationship is supposed to be like. So here's a real word here. When you feel like you shouldn't change for somebody, that's because your parents taught you shouldn't change, because they didn't change for you. Because when you're a parent, you're supposed to change for your child too. You're supposed to become more mature. You're supposed to come up on higher ground. You can't. There's a lot of things you can't do. So when a child said, when they grow up and they say, I don't need to change for anybody, that's because their parent did not teach them, okay, you got to make sacrifices for this person. You got to meet this person in the middle. And I'm not just gonna say, because they could have said it to you, but they didn't show you. Because it's almost like words don't have power without action. See, and that's another thing that the Bible teaches. The Bible says, and you might not even be Christian, but this right here is going to make sense with what I'm saying. The Bible says that when God says something, his word goes out and does the thing. It doesn't return to him void. What that means is that not only has he said the thing, his word has done the action. So a word, it means nothing without action. That's a real word right there. A word doesn't mean anything without the action of the thing. Because like we said, when God says something, he says, let there be this thing. The word is a physical being. Because whatever God says, there's life in the thing. So the word he has just created a physical being who goes out and performs the action. It's not just that he said it. It's that something did it. That came from his mouth with enough power and ability to do it. So if we know that in theory, we know that, okay, wait a minute. So I can't say anything without showing that I mean what I said. That's how this earth is established. That's it right there. So that's why we feel like when we get in relationships, we don't need to meet the other person in the middle because we've been shown the wrong thing, and it starts right there. I just kind of had that thought. I don't know. Let me know what you think about that, because that's kind of a theory, and I like to study the Bible with an idea to logic instead of just what we call religion and the kind of gospel that we teach. I like to look at it as, okay, can we use this book to make things better? Can this book explain problems that we have? That's why a lot of people don't really like Christianity, and I'm getting off, but we've said the point. This is just kind of, if you want to stay here and watch this, you can. But I feel like that's the problem with modern Christian. That's another issue with modern Christianity, is that we don't use the Bible to explain what's wrong with our world. It's just another religion over there that's just kind of flat and dry and doesn't have any. That book explains things. It's history, and if you study it, you'll see why something is wrong. Listen, and if we all understood, because see, look, the book so the book explains to one person, that person shares to 5 million other people. Now everyone knows why this thing in our society is wrong, and then we know how to fix it, because the Bible also explains that. How can you discredit it? The only way you can discredit it is because you haven't, and a lot of us have not been really taught how to study, and we don't know how to separate humans and their idea of religion from actual solid advice from the Bible. That's why we hate it so much, because we really hate ourselves and the way we've interpreted it, and we just don't know. We're like little bugs, we don't know how to express that, and we don't know how to say that, so we blame each other when really it's the problem we don't blame each other. We blame the idea, the book, when really the problem is with us, So I don't know. Just kind of let me know if whatever you disagree with, agree with. Just kind of let me know what you think. I just was kind of sitting here and I was thinking about that, as far as relationships, and it kind of turned into something else. But either way, any feedback is appreciated.